Craig. Rams versus 49ers. You know.
This is trash. Okay. Coaching, I'm going with Sean McVay. I think both coaches are really good, but obviously McVay's coming off a championship. So got to take him.
Greg, you know what's funny, Greg, before you say that, you know a game I was about to pick besides this one? I probably should have picked it. We're going to go over it, but go ahead. I'm going to pick another game.
So on the offensive, like both of these teams, obviously you look at San Francisco, they're missing Elijah Mitchell. Obviously Trey Lance got hurt. He's done for the year. They just lost Trent Williams, probably arguably the best left tackle or the best tackle in general in football. He's out. Man, and like you look on paper, the Rams offense should be, I mean, obviously the clear cut, but I mean, they just haven't really played well at all. San Francisco hasn't played well either for the most part. I mean, besides the game against Seattle, but that's Seattle. Seattle's terrible. So they look good against them, but against Denver and Chicago, I mean, Chicago, I guess that Bears game was a monsoon. So against a really good defense like Denver, they didn't look good at all. Jimmy Garoppolo still trying to get back to how he played last year. So it'll take a little bit more time. But I'm surprised that the Rams offense just doesn't look, they don't look good at all. I mean, they still have Kupp. They went out and got Allen. They still have Higbee. Akers is back. He hasn't looked good. They still have Henderson from last year. I mean, Stafford just doesn't look the same at all. I don't know if it's, we talk about the Super Bowl hangover with the Bengals. Like this seems to be like a Super Bowl hangover with the defending champ Rams. Like they just don't look good. But I am going to go with the Rams just because on paper I think they have a better offense. They have the better quarterback. I think they have a better running game. The 49ers just, I mean, they have a bunch of just makeshift running backs back there. Although Wilson, I think, is a solid, as long as he can stay healthy, solid running back. I would take Kupp over Samuel. I would take Allen over, what's the guy's name? The other receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Although, and Kittle's just starting to get back as well. So he played last week for the first time. So, but I would take the Rams offense. Defensively, the Rams defense hasn't impressed with me at all so far this year, like I thought they might. But the 49ers, I thought the Bucs had the number 2 defense. It's the 49ers that had the number 2 defense. So their defense looks really good. They held 11 points last week. The Bears 19 points, whatever it is, and the Seahawks 7. So they're only giving up around 12 points a game. So I'm picking the 49ers there for their defense. I believe the 49ers have beaten the Rams the last 4 times in the regular season.
Yep.
Similar to the Saints and the Bucs situation. But we saw the Bucs this year beat the Rams. So is it time for we saw the Bucs this time beat the Saints. So is it time for the Rams this year to beat the 49ers? I'm gonna say no. At least not right now. I'm picking the Niners. I think this is another game. I think they can't afford to lose this game because their next 2 games are against the Panthers and the Falcons, even though they're on the road. But so even though they would fall to 1-3, I think they can easily be 3-3 heading into the game with the Chiefs in what's that week 7. But I just don't think they're going to do that. I think the defense is going to stand strong against the Rams, and I'm going. I think it's going to be another low-scoring game. The Rams offense just hasn't looked good. Let me go 17-14. 17-14 49ers.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So Rams versus Rams. Who you got versus 49ers? Coaching, man. Sean McVay and Shanahan. In the words of Darth Vader, McVay would say to Shanahan, I am the master now. Right? That's New Hope when Obi-Wan, he killed Obi-Wan. You don't know about that, Craig. Anyway, Andor's on Disney Plus. Yes, they pay me for this commercial. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying. So like, I think that McVay has surpassed Shanahan as far as his coaching, is his schemes, even though he came under Shanahan. So that's why I did the Darth Vader reference in Obi-Wan. So, but you're both great. They're both offensive NFL Jedis, right? I just think McVay has just a slight edge over. And Shanahan's just a phenomenal coach in his own right. I just think that McVay has the edge. Offense, I'm going to disagree with you, Craig. I think the offense is going with the 49ers. Like, I know you have Cooper Kupp, but the offensive line is shoddy. Allen Robinson looks like he flew back to Chicago. Cam Akers and the running backs, they might as well be the same with Jeff Wilson, man. That's an even Steven. So I got to give it to the San Francisco, the edge on the offense, just because of Deebo Samuel, right? Even if Deebo Samuel and Cooper Kupp are a push, right? Brandon Ayuk is better than Robinson. Allen Robinson sucks. I don't think he sucks. Let me take that back. I don't think he is used to the offense and getting used to Matt Stafford. Missing, this is, goes back into people missing camp. So I think they'll have a better rapport late in the season. But right now, I think the San Francisco has a better offense. Defense, this is going to be an interesting. I mean, I like what you said about San Francisco, but I mean, they played the Broncos, who's struggling. They played the Seahawks, and they played the Bears. Those are three terrible offenses, but their defense is still good. It was good last year, so I don't know how to gauge it. But the Rams gave up all those points to Atlanta, which I just think the Rams are just trying to get their foot underneath them. I think it's they still haven't recovered from the Super Bowl. They don't look like the same team from last year. They don't at all. And I think Jimmy G, you give him some time, I think he's going to fit right in. He missed training camp, but, I think overall right now, I think the 49ers, they own them in the regular season. And I think this is the best offense they've went up against. And I would start the defense in fantasy because I think they're going to get some interceptions against Stafford, or maybe a pick six. And I think that I don't think the Rams defense is as good. And I got the score 28-20, the 49ers. All right. Corey.
For me, when looking at this game, I didn't see a category that I would take the 49ers over the Rams right now. I mean, obviously, the coaching, you're going to go with the guy that just won a Super Bowl over the guy whose offensive play calling cost his team a Super Bowl. Both offenses are struggling, but I think the Niners offense is struggling more. You're having to throw in a new quarterback it's the same guys last year, but like all offseason, you were prepping for Trey Lance. And now you're having to scrap all of that because Jimmy can't run the same stuff as Lance was going to. So you have to start over with your offensive game plan for the season now with a new quarterback, and the offensive line's beat up. And I think while the Rams are struggling, I trust Matt Stafford a heck of a lot more than I do Jimmy Garoppolo. And honestly, I trust Allen Robinson more than I do Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk is a more explosive player at this stage in their careers, but he's just not consistent. And I still don't think the Niners have great depth outside of their top two wide receivers. Defensively, statistically, the 49ers are a much better defense than the Rams. But as you just pointed out, James, who have they played?
Nobody.
The Bears and a monsoon. Okay. Like Denver, who is just a bit of a train wreck right now offensively. That the numbers this early in the season can be very misleading. So I think the Rams should, by every expectation, win this football game. I do think the Niners may need this a little more, but I'm going to take the Rams 20-13.
All right, Mo. Rams versus 49ers. Who you got?
For same reason Corey said, across the board, I take the Rams across the board. Across the board, especially with Trent Williams out. That's big. That's huge. With your best offensive lineman out, probably one of the best, if not one of the top 2 or 3 offensive linemen in the league, missing. That hurts already when you struggle to run the ball. You got a quarterback who's still recovering, who's trying to come in as a backup. I think the Rams are going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. I think the Rams are going to come in with a huge chip on their shoulder, like trying to prove, like, hold up, I understand we came off slow, but we're still the champs until somebody beats us. The 49ers didn't look good last week. It looked bad last week. And now you're facing a better defense. I'm not going to say a better defense. You're not facing a better defense, but you're facing a defense that has a ton of talent on it. And like I said, I don't know if Brandon Ayuk and others can get open. So unless Jimmy G just pulls a game for the ages out of his hat, I can see this being a double-digit game. I can see this being I'm going to take Rams 27-13.